so fun and stuff. I'm like, oh shit, I haven't been thinking about it. Like,
I know.
catch up.
I know. You have my shirt on.
Dude, yeah.
I
It's a
took
big.
that thing. It's a great shirt. I took that thing to the top of a mountain.
Yeah, I'm just looking at
um, I'm, I'm having a little bit of a hard time hearing you, but let's keep going. Let's keep trying.
Okay. I'm just looking at what we talked about last time.
Okay.
Oh, right. I'm gonna put that down. That environmental specialist.
Yeah, I emailed her.
And did you hear back?
I did. I heard back. Yeah.
Okay.
She said that her price is $197 an hour US.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like not all that excited about that. Like I think that unless we were if we had a questionable ingredient, then maybe.
Okay.
But like, is she really gonna say the things that we're talking about aren't gonna work? Like, is she gonna say coconut husk is like I don't really think that's her thing. I think it's more about synthetic stuff that's bad for you, not really like natural stuff. So I
Okay.
mean, I guess there's a chance that like hang on one sec. I guess there's a chance that it like what we're talking about could be some crazy allergen or something, but I think it's pretty unlikely because it's used like in medical applications and stuff, right? I don't know about the coco coir, but I
Right.
think I think all she would really be telling us is like don't use synthetics in the product, which we kind of already know.
Yep.
So maybe down the road we could do that, but I don't think right now it makes very much sense. Do you?
No. Because we've also, it's not like we just like found like latex and the coconut and haven't done any research on it already, right? Like we've been looking into things and we found people that are using them for other things, and like I'm
Yeah.
not super concerned with that. I'm sure it'd be neat to talk to her, but I don't know if it's necessary.
Yeah, at that price. If it was like 50 an hour, I'd say yeah, let's talk to her for an hour and just see what she has to say. But yeah, that's a lot of money. And from what I saw, like not that credentials mean everything, but like she's not like a PhD in environmental like toxins or anything. She's just like I'm sure she has good information, but I just don't. Yeah, it just seems like a lot of money. So let's scratch that unless or until we know for sure that we need to talk to her.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
I emailed. I never heard back from.
okay.
So I might try.
Okay.
I was gonna try to find her on Instagram
Okay.
and see.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we have to like lots of people don't email back. I think we definitely have to like probably chase her a little bit.
Okay. I'll
Yeah.
do that this afternoon.
Okay. And even in the email, be like, if you aren't interested in doing this, maybe can you recommend somebody who might be able to
Sure.
talk to us? Yeah.
Okay.
Um, so what else? There's a bunch of stuff, but it feels like it was like a year ago that we talked about all of this.
I know. And
So
then you said you had lots of updates.
yeah, and I'm just trying to remember what they were. So one of them was the
Okay.
price for that. Um, Suzanne, you and I need to talk about like she just sent us a video.
Did you watch?
Um, I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
did you?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
she's
it's good.
so cute.
Yeah. And so we have to like talk about a couple things probably offline, but um all I've told her basically is we're just in the process of trying to figure out if we can get the materials to work. And I just said like until we have something that we're pretty sure is going to happen, we don't want to like, you know, spend thousands of dollars developing a material. So we're just kind of like, I told her we're talking to a bunch of people in the next couple of days, and hopefully we'll have a good idea soon of whether like we want to move forward with it. But it sounds like her, I like what she said. I like her idea of like keeping it simple and going with something like that instead of like a certified fabric, instead of like trying to create something from the ground up right now.
Yeah, no, I think that was a really great suggestion.
For sure. For sure.
And that's
So
nice.
that's that.
Sorry.
No, go
If
ahead.
you could follow her recommendation later on, like in a couple weeks even, you know, when we know that what we're gonna do is gonna work, like the base of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's what I think too. Like
Okay.
I think once we talk to, so okay, and then the other thing is the people from that Sri Lankan latex company
Yeah.
that's so good, like the 100% natural latex company that we were talking about last time we talked, and we said like the website looks good, and they're talking about like legit 100% latex. So they emailed me and they said that there's a rep in Canada who we can talk to, and so that rep has emailed me now. His name's Steve, and we haven't talked much about what we want to do, but he's gonna meet with us tomorrow at 3:15.
Sweet.
We'll do
That's
a Skype. Yeah. So I'm hoping, I'm like, I have pretty high hopes for it. I hope that if he's not like the guy, at the very least, hopefully he's going to be able to like give us some guidance or like some idea of what we want to do is possible.
that's legit. A rep in
Yeah,
Canada.
yeah, it's good. And it looks like they're, from what I read at the bottom of his email, it looks like they're kind of involved in medical products, which is great because
Okay.
I feel like I feel like the medical products are the products that are like 100% natural. They have to be. That's the whole point.
Mhm.
So it looks like they're involved in mattresses and medical products. So yeah, so I have high hopes. Either he can answer our questions and sell us stuff, or maybe he can direct us.
Okay.
Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to mention was when I talked to that environmental toxins lady, she was like, it's funny that you said this because someone posted in her forum like a week ago that they wanted to do this.
Okay.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of interesting.
Okay.
Like the exact same thing, like a natural mat. I'm sure they won't come to all the same conclusions we will, but basically, yeah, she was saying other people are interested in doing it, which is, I think it, honestly, now I almost think that's a good thing.
I was just gonna say there should be more than us doing it.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
and like there should be more people doing this,
for
right?
sure,
That's
for
cool.
sure.
We come up with something different. Like that's awesome, right? Like
Hmm.
how fucking people make cheap ass children's mats and they're all flying off the shelves, right?
Yeah,
Like there,
that's right.
especially
It's
because
such, sorry.
if we're
Oh,
like the only people doing this and it's kind of just like it's almost like those like crazy like guys, you know what I mean? Like if there's more, I feel like this industry or this like sect, I don't know, it should be bigger. I think that would be a good thing for us because then more people start talking about it. It becomes
yeah,
more like it becomes almost like normalized or like more popular
yeah, yeah,
for people.
I totally agree.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. We and because ours is so, what we're planning so far is so like weird and so off the wall, I mean, unless we're copied. If they came up with the exact same thing we came up with, that wouldn't be good. But if it's just like another way of doing it, I'm cool with that. It's such a big market that like, yeah, it's not a, I don't think it's a huge concern. It's not like we're trying to take over the kids mat market. We're just, yeah, we're just trying to put out an option. Even if like 1% of people bought it, we'd probably be happy. So
Yeah,
probably less than 1%, probably like a quarter of a percent, we probably have a pretty like cool company.
yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Um, Trying to think if there was anything else that I wanted to talk about. I didn't really think about it too much when we were on holidays. I just like I thought about it a couple times when driving, and I was like, I like this. Like coming back to it after not thinking about it, I was like, I like this idea. I hope that we can figure it out, you
Mm.
know? Yeah, and I want to like it still feels so far away right now to me. Like it still feels like a bit of a pipe dream. I really want to start getting our hands on materials and like just um kind of makeshift like making a sample even if it looks shoddy just like
Mhm.
so we have something and can make it real because it feels like a dream right now like a
Yeah,
weird dream.
I know.
Yeah, yeah. I think as soon as we like roll out a mat, even if we stitched it ourselves and the lines aren't straight and like even if it looks like shit right off the bat, I think it's going to be like it's then that it's like okay, now we know that we can pull it off and we just need to straighten out the details, right?
And I think then we can really start. I do need to start the TikTok thing. Like I do need to make a couple, but I think then once we even have like a shitty one, like we can start
Yeah,
like so people get what we're trying to do.
yeah. Yeah, and we can even start posting on a website about like then we can have a little bit of a blog and stuff and start talking about like the different iterations of it. So so yeah, hopefully we get some answers tomorrow. Um, so with the consulting company,
Yeah.
their price is like it looks like it's almost $1,000 to get a couple of material recommendations. Did you see that?
I had a really hard time understanding any of what was.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like we'll propose 5 to 10 materials for your application for about £500, something like that. So
Okay.
it's like that. It's like 1,000 or so dollars, and what they do is just come up with a couple of materials for us and like recommend them, which would be helpful. But the problem is that I don't know. Like in a way, we have a material already, but then in another sense, if they came up with something like fantastic that's way better, it's like, well, that thousand would easily be worth it,
I know.
right? So I almost wish we were talking to Steve before we were talking to them tomorrow, so that
Right.
we like
Well,
so
I think tomorrow we can, when we do talk to them, we can, because I think the first time we talk to them, we don't have to pay, right?
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Okay. So I think when we talk to them tomorrow, we can just kind of get like a feel for, I think we go into it thinking if we weren't talking to Steve, but then in the
hmm
back of our minds knowing that we are, so that we get all the information from them, we see like where this road can go, and then when we talk to Steve, if we're really happy with what he has to say about the latex, like I think it's okay that we're talking to them like that because we don't have to make any decisions when we're on the phone with her tomorrow, right?
true. Yeah, true.
We just get the information and we go away with it, and then you and I, it's nice, we'll have like the weekend too, we can like you know chat on the side about, and then we just go from there.
Yeah, okay. I think we should really think about what questions we want to ask tomorrow because, like, if let's say, we could almost think about it like we're starting fresh if we are getting 10 material recommendations.
Mhm.
So we almost have to like go back to square one and be like, okay, what do we want the mat to do?
Right.
Right? So, like, we want it to be rollable.
Yeah.
That's important. Rollable or not even, maybe we shouldn't say rollable. Well, rollable or foldable. Like it doesn't necessarily have to roll. If it folded up into a square,
Yeah.
like a duvet cover did, that would be okay too. But we don't want it to have crevices. That's really
That's
important, right? So are you writing this down?
I
Okay, perfect. So that's one thing.
Yeah.
We want it to be s- soft enough that we don't have to worry about a baby's head hitting it on
Yep.
the ground.
We want the bottom of it to have some sticky property.
Yeah, for sure. Like the mat itself doesn't have to be sticky, but it should not need a plastic thing on the floor to keep it from slipping.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
want it to be 100% natural and safe.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the top either has to be wipeable
Right.
or washable.
I know, because if we were to pay that and they were to like be like, here's this material that's all you need. You know what I mean?
It
And
would be worth it.
it would be worth it.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Rollable, foldable, softness. Bottom has to have some kind of sticky property, 100% natural and safe. Top must be wipeable and washable. And then like, should we mention like a natural look? But that would only be if we're going back to no cover. I'll just put
Yeah, I don't know. Like at this point, I think if we were to take away the cover, I would be a little bit disappointed because that cover is like offering so much in terms of like style,
mhm.
right? But if they came up with a material we could print on, maybe it's like it seems like it's starting to be unrealistic, like to print on some crazy natural material that we don't know of. Like I don't know, maybe, but I think it's unlikely.
Right.
I like the idea now of being able to swap the covers and like shipping it with two covers, you know?
I do too.
Like I don't know how we could make it as cool. Like it opens up all that world of natural dyes and cool fabrics and like comfort and feeling soft. Like
But it
without
also
that
that whole world of added expense.
of like the covers, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
we
that's
can
true.
come up with a mat without it and we can sell it for like half of, because we still want it to be available to people who want it in their house without having to like break the bank, right?
Yeah, but I think we can also do that with just a super simple, with like a cheaper top too. Like I think we can make one out of simple flannel, and
Mm-hmm.
it'll add an extra $10 or something to the cost. Like we don't want to make we I do want to. First primary goal is to make something non-toxic. Next one in my mind is to make something. It's still to make something that people want in their house.
Great.
You know. So
Yeah.
I really don't want to forget about that.
No. Okay. It was also cool too when she was talking about like that company in Berlin with the fabrics, and when she was talking about how maybe down the road we could have our own print on it, um
Yes,
and it would still be like all natural dyes like that. That's super exciting to think about, right?
it is. Yeah. If we didn't do that and then a competitor came along and was doing that, we'd be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like if ours was super boring and like it didn't have a cover, but it had like some sort of natural top that could be wiped in, like we couldn't really print on it or anything and it didn't feel good. And then somebody came with like naturally dyed flannel that like ripped off and went into we'd be like, oh, like ours would just, it'd be tough to compete with that. If theirs looked great and ours was boring, that would be a very difficult thing to
I,
compete against. And like, I mean, just imagine going to a trade show, right? And imagine like we set up two booths. Our competitor with like the natural product, um, that's, let's say theirs is the one that's really boring, but it's wipeable. And we're set up beside them, and ours, like you have to wash the fabric like you rip it off with the snaps or Velcro or whatever we decide, and like you wash it every 2 weeks or something. But
Mhm.
ours looks amazing. Like everyone's coming to our booth. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So, like, visual appeal is really important. And also because we're selling online, like, if it's boring, it's going to be hard. If it looks good, it's going to be so much easier. Like, if we advertise on Facebook or wherever, or just the product photos on the website, it's if it's boring looking, it's going to be so hard.
Fair enough. No, fair enough. You're right. You're totally right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's a good reminder.
So another requirement is that we want some way of being able to put designs or colors on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So maybe we'll be like, hey, this is our idea. Like these are the things that we've considered: coco coir, burlap,
Mhm.
with a covering of latex, and then a topper of fabric
Yep.
that like snaps off. And then we can be like, if you think that you can add something major to what our idea is, then maybe we can make some agreement with them of like, we'll pay you for one or two materials, because we don't want 10. Like I feel like for them to bring us 10 materials for this is, it's not realistic.
No, because then it's still gonna take us to go through them and to, you know what I mean? Like we don't need that. Like, because I do think what we have is a good idea, and I do think that we're close, and I do think
Yeah, so do I.
ideas already.
Well, I missed that last
I
part.
think we've entertained a lot of ideas already.
Yeah, yeah, we have like core,
Hmm.
and I bet you that would be one of the 10 they come up with.
Hmm. I think so too. Okay.
Well, yeah, hopefully they're not the kind of company that's like gonna, I'm sure they have some integrity, and like if they see that we have what we need, they're not gonna want to charge us an arm and a leg to help. Like if it's just something small, then
Yeah.
fine, fine. But yeah,
Um, do you have any updates from like the coconut people?
lots of them return my emails, but I really haven't like been responding to them. I guess I've been kind of waiting until we talk to somebody from the latex industry to figure out like
Because
if it's gonna bond. Mhm.
is it still an option? Like, say we talk to this latex guy tomorrow, and he's like, I can make you like a inch thick piece of latex
Mhm.
for a decent price. Then do we even need coconut in it?
Good question. Good question.
I guess that's a talking point we'll talk with him about, right?
Yeah.
Because if it's just a big slab of 100% natural latex, like the bottom's going to have some grip.
Mhm.
It's going to have the softness. We
Mhm.
could probably keep costs down.
Mhm.
And unless latex is way more expensive than coconut, and then coconut's almost like a filler at that point.
It will be. It
Okay.
100% will be. The latex is going to be way more expensive, but
Oh,
the question is like, is let's say we're doing a 1 inch topper on the latex of, or sorry, a 1 inch topper of latex on the coco coir. Like, does moving from 1 inch to two double the cost? And it might. I don't know. But I hear what you're saying. I just don't know if that latex is going to if it's going to hold up like that, like
okay.
just out in the open. Because in a mattress, it's always covered with fabric, right? It's inside of a fabric cover.
Well, I'm still talking about a fabric cover.
Okay, so basically we cover the latex in some sort of fabric, like it has some sort of cover. And then on top of that, we still Velcro our top down, something like that. Is that what you mean?
The cover of latex just be our wrap or whatever it is.
Yeah, we use more fabric, but it's a possibility for sure.
But why does it have to be enclosed? Why couldn't the bottom just be
I
latex?
don't, I just don't know how durable it is in
Okay.
its like,
I see what you're saying.
in its that, yeah, I don't know if that's something you can like bang up and it won't fall apart.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and like I think they said it's not super stable under, I can't remember if it was an inch or 2 inches.
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess just the look of it, but we could probably figure out a way to, like, I don't know how you'd bond the fabric to it then. I
Right.
don't know if you could put, if you can sew stuff into it or what. I think we better have some sketches for Steve tomorrow. Maybe I'll start drawing stuff.
Okay. Even those pictures you showed before where you had like you had a picture of like the coconut with latex on top, like even something like that to give them
Okay.
an idea, right?
Okay.
And like the overall mat, like I'm looking at mine right now, like obviously it's going to be thicker than these ones that we have, right? And it'll be
Hmm.
thicker for good reason,
Yeah,
but we still don't want it like so thick, right?
true.
Because we don't, it's not like we want it to be something that a kid can like tumble down from, right?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. Because like
yeah,
now Enzo, like, yes, we start our day on the mat and it's nice for me to be on it, but he's all over the place, right?
yeah.
And he has like this little ride 'em train, and this mat is thin enough that he can get up and onto it. But like
Okay.
if we have something that you're like crashing into because it's so thick,
Thick.
we don't want that.
Yeah. No, we don't. We definitely don't. I mean, I guess you could still, if it was just the latex, you could still cover it with fabric, and then you could still have another fabric layer on top, right?
Mhm.
Like, you could do that. Hmm. Yeah, it'll just be about the price
Yeah.
because the coco coir is inexpensive, and if it gives structure and stuff, then and all we need is like $10 worth of latex or $20 worth of latex on each, and then a $10 coco coir mat, and then plus the fabric and stuff. That might work better than like an $80 2-inch thick piece of latex, right? But yeah, it's a very good question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to talk to all these people.
So am I. That
Um,
way makes it simpler too. Your way, like that way is a simpler way to manufacture too, right? Because all we need is the mats and a couple pieces of fabric.
yeah, it's true.
What were you gonna say?
I was just thinking about what Susan said, how she was like talking about like um being more afraid to do something than happy to start something or something like that, or happy to get something, right?
Yeah,
Like that's like really good advice because
it is.
you and I are not going to fall into the hands of like the world's best and safest mat just by like talking for free,
I know. I
right? So
know.
I liked how she knows that from experience. Like that was really smart
Hmm.
of her, like scary, but it was smart. And then how she was talking about grown resources,
Hmm.
right? That's their like how they say it there, like coming from the earth, which is what we're it was just like nice reminders or whatever.
Hmm. For sure
And
there is.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to put a couple things together for Steve and then for us tomorrow with the material people.
Yeah.
I just want to be super focused when we talk to them and like make sure that they know we already have ideas and we can ask them directly like, can you add anything to this?
Right.
You know? And
Yes.
if so, like what kind of package can we put together? Because all the packages they have are quite there's I think there was one with like 7 materials, 5 materials or something. But
Hmm.
yeah, let's see what they say.
Okay. And I'm organizing this at the bottom of our like Unnamed Kid Co. Google
Hmm.
sheet. There's a tab
Hmm.
called Top Companies, and I'm just
Okay.
trying to put it in order of what we should. Um, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty. Okay.
So other than that, we're good, right?
I think so.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's see how tomorrow goes, and then we'll do another one of these like over the weekend.